you got to give credit to the other team. Obviously, did a good job. They came out on top. There's some things that we did well in the game, some things that we were encouraged by. Obviously, enough of it wasn't good enough to come away with the results we wanted right there. So we'll look at the tape before we make any kind of broad stroke statements. I'm sure there's going to be questions about some other things I'll make sure I address right now. So that being said, I'll open up for you.
Joe, did Kadarius get hurt at the end of the game? What's his status?
KT?
Is he okay?
I haven't heard anything from the trainers right there. He dealt with some things throughout the game, kind of going up and down. He obviously kept fighting through it right there.
It was a pretty taxing game on you guys, Daniel, Saquon, Kenny. I mean, what was kind of the emotions of the team dealing with all of that today?
Can you be more specific?
I just mean, like, battling through all these key guys going down as the game was going on. Like, how did you feel like they responded to that, I guess?
Our guys are going to keep playing. That's not ever going to be a question. We're going to play for 60 minutes. So you don't want anybody to get hurt. You don't want your teammates to get hurt. You don't want the other team to get hurt either. I say it all the time, but that's just the truth. So you want everyone to come out of the game healthy. That's part of the way our philosophy we believe in. In terms of, the next man up mentality, I thought there's a lot of good examples today, in the game of guys stepping up and taking on different roles and being productive, making plays. We'll check on the status of the guys who left the game, see where they're at. I couldn't give you any answers in terms of next week at this point right now. We'll see where they're at, going forward. But I'd say in terms of how our team responded, it's exactly what I expect. Okay, I expect whoever's in the game to play. I expect the entire team to come down here ready to go. And tell you guys all the time, whoever's at the game, I expect to play and expect to be productive.
What did you? Saquon looked like he was in serious pain. What do you know about, his injury at this point?
I really don't know much more than what they've told you guys as far as at least at ankle. We'll see where it goes going forward. I believe he did. I don't know what the results are just yet, Jordan. I saw him at halftime real quick, walked in.
It was broken now, right? He broke his ankle. You would know that now.
I mean, possibly. I didn't go through the results with him. I walked by him at halftime, checked to see how he was feeling. I also went over and saw Kenny, how he was feeling. Got the updates they'd be out for the second half, and went back and made sure we made the adjustments with the coaches. So in terms of all the medical stuff, we kind of roll fast with that. Obviously, I have a lot of concern for my players. We'll go and kind of get the full rundown. But in the heat of the moment as you're going, what you're really looking for in the game is he up or is he down? And you got to make sure you move on with personnel moves to make sure everybody's sound and ready to roll.
I think we saw your reaction, but how unacceptable is what Kadarius did there?
Look, there's a pretty distinct line, okay, in terms of, competing and doing things that we're not going to condone as a team that put us behind. That's not going to be accepted. It's not going to be condoned. So, that's as far as I'm going to go right now with that. Obviously, it resulted in him leaving the game, and I'm just going to leave it at that right there.
Any concern about suspension?
I'll let the league deal with that.
What are you learning about him, or what did you learn about him as a player, though?
I think he's being very productive. He's a very talented player. I've said for a number of weeks that, especially that position, the receiver position, it takes some time to really learn the league. There's a lot of differences coming from college to the league for those positions. This guy's obviously has a lot of just natural ability. He's building a lot of technique, a lot of savvy. He's really understanding what the other teams are giving him, and he's making plays. Obviously, he was highly productive for us today as far as getting the ball, making plays down the field. And he's a tough dude. I don't think there's any question about that. I think he's a very smart football player. Okay?
I'm not just talking to him, so, if you have talked to him, what?
I have not talked to him yet. I'll tell you right now. Okay, go ahead. I have not talked to him since, on the field. So.
Did you get a chance to talk to Daniel? Did you get a chance to talk to Daniel, and he seemed pretty woozy there on the field.
I'm not going to any medical diagnosis. I saw him in the locker room afterwards right there, just checked on him. In terms of where he'll go towards next week, Dan, I don't have an answer for you right now. We'll see where he goes. Obviously, we're all hopeful that he'll be back and he'll be healthy. I thought Mike got in, did some productive things as well today. So we'll see where our medically at a number of positions going forward for this week.
Just circling back, Joe, does Toney have some growing up to do?
You want to be more specific about that?
Some maturing to do?
I think every rookie has a lot of maturing to do. If you're asking specifically about an incident, I'm going to address that with the team. Okay, I'll address that with the players individually as well as collectively, make sure we're on the same page. Shouldn't be any confusion in that at all. I'll leave it at that. As far as him traveling back,
Yeah.
I've received no notice that he couldn't travel back with us.
Joe, before the game, Andrew Thomas, you activated him but didn't
Right.
play him, so did he have some sort of setback after warm-ups?
No, we thought he was at a point that we were going to really just kind of bring him in, and we're going to use him, emergency if needed. Want to get out there, let Matt and Nate go out there and play. They practiced all week. Thought they did a good job for the most part in the game. I look at the tape and kind of make, final assessment. But I thought for the most part, the offensive line with a lot of moves. There were some things early in the game we had to settle down and move on from. Thought there was a lot of productive things they did today. In terms of Andrew specifically, that kind of incorporated in the plan we're thinking about going forward anyway.
Did Skura get hurt? Is that why Wes Martin played, or was that a normal rotation?
No, we're planning on rotating those guys going in and kind of making both guys play. That was pre-planned. We'll come back to you.
Joe, obviously with Daniel, not to talk
Right.
specific of the injury,
Yep.
but to see how it played out from your perspective, my term would be scary. Did you see that from him? Were you obviously concerned when it seemed like he took a misstep there and needed help?
Talking about when he came over from the hit.
Yeah, when he got up and it didn't seem like he did.
Yeah, to be honest with you, with the vantage point I had, some of it kind of got lost in the shuffle behind the players. I kind of got more kind of word in my ear in terms of what he was. Trainers went out there. I kind of asked, hey, is this something I got to go check on? They say he's up, he's doing okay. And then I saw him obviously get removed right there. I checked on him, as soon as we came on in and kind of saw that where he was right now. Look, you don't want any player hurt in any capacity. I think obviously when you see any kind of player in kind of that mode you referred to, I didn't specifically see that with my own eyes. Obviously, I was told, like, hey, be alert, this is what happened. You're always right away just, okay, think about the player and their well-being first.
You said that you weighed on the NFL's judgment on Kadarius, but would you consider suspending him?
I'm not going to get any hypotheticals right now, Pat. I'm going to go through the whole situation and kind of, gather information.
How disappointing was what you saw from your defense today? I mean, they had over, I think it was the final numbers, over 500 yards.
Yeah, obviously, we have to play better. We have to coach better. We have to execute better. So it's across the board. A lot of things tie into that. When we look at the tape, make the adjustments, make the corrections. There's a lot of things we have to do right now going forward. It's definitely a phase that has to be a weapon for us. It's a phase of the ability to be a weapon, a phase that's stepped up, made a lot of key plays for us throughout the year already. There's some things we got to make sure that we go ahead and keep improving on as a team.
Why do you think your best players on that side of the ball aren't stepping up, making plays? There's chances for interceptions, chances to make tackles, and it's just not coming through.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into any kind of hypothetical answer right there, Dan. I'm going to look at the tape and just correct the fundamentals on every play and make sure that we go ahead and we go out there and practice, put ourselves in position, and make the plays.
What was your eyeball take on Glennon, and what can you do with him if he has to play next week?
Well, Mike can run the offense. I'd say as simple as that. Our deal is when a guy gets in, we want to go ahead and stick to the game plan as much as we can. Is there always maybe a curveball here or there for a specific player? Yeah, there's things within the game plan you kind of pencil in for a certain receiver, tight end, running back, maybe even the quarterback. But I'd say in terms of Mike, the plan would be to go out there and just run the offense. Mike does a good job preparing. I thought in terms of the eyeball test of him getting out there today, there's a lot of things he did well. A lot of positions he put us in a chance to have success. Mike's had a lot of experience, in terms of how he comes to work to prepare every day as if he's going to take every snap. I thought that showed up today on the field in terms of how he performed.
Joe, you said you talked to Daniel. Did he seem okay after the game?
I'm going to be very careful on how I select my words there because all of a sudden something I say gets spun into, Joe says this or that about someone's health. I checked on the player. I'm going to leave it at that right there. I'm going to be fair to the player right there in terms of, not me making some, snap medical diagnosis that puts him on some list of expectations.
Did you have a conversation with him?
It was very brief when I came off the field.
He answered back. He spoke to you.
Yes, he was able to speak. Yeah.
Is it difficult to be positive looking ahead when you have all these key guys going down to injury?
No, we're positive every week. We're going to get on the tape right now. We're going to look at this game, correct the mistakes, look at our next opponent, put together the best plan for our team, go out there, have success, make sure we coach the best game we possibly can, and go out there and execute. We're positive every week. We look every week to go out there and have success, whatever it takes. Whoever's up, we play with. Whatever it's going to take in the game plan, that's what we're going to do.
Two more. How did you think Hooker played?
I think overall, from the eyeball test, thought he did some solid things out there for us. Obviously finishing right there in the end zone at the end, did some tough running right there. I saw him step up in some blitz pickups, and pick up the safety off the edge a couple of times, do a nice job right there. Obviously got to watch the tape and see exactly, what he did, and there's going to be some things we have to correct, build on. But look, he practices hard for us. He plays hard. We have confidence in him as a player.
How tough is this for Saquon? Did you get a chance to talk to him? He just came back from a serious knee injury. He's on crutches. Obviously,
I couldn't speak directly for the player in terms of how tough something may be for them. I care about the welfare and health of the player. So we'll do the best thing by him. And if he's ready to go out there and play, we'll be out there and play. If there's something we have to go ahead and make sure we get him back to health for a course of time, we'll do that for him as well.